Sydney Swans on screen making their way out onto the ground in second position at the start of round 17, 11 wins, and they have been a magnificent team. Let's say good afternoon now to former champion and Brownlow medalist with the Sydney Swans, Jared Healy.
Good on you, Dermot, and what a magnificent day. If the match is anywhere near as good as the weather, then we're in for an absolute cracker. And as you said, two exciting sides, both underestimated perhaps at the start of the season, but they have come on in leaps and bounds. And with so much young talent in this side, it is going to be a real challenge for the Swans to continue their winning run. But both have been so impressive. Two terrific new coaches, both good stories in the AFL.
Great talent in the tall stakes too with Fremantle. They take a lot of contested marks. They've won 10 games already. Never before have they won more than 10 games in one season. You'd think they only need 2 wins from these last half dozen games and they'll make the finals for the first time in their short career. Pavlich and his players on screen.
And they're a chance, I think, Dermot. A sneaky chance, the Fremantle Dockers. The Swans have been in pretty good form, tailed off last week after half-time against Carlton. How they travel is yet to be known, but with a guy like Pavlich, you know that they're going to be well and truly led from out of the middle. Just indicates how vital this game is for both clubs. Fremantle, with a win, will maintain their chances for home finals with a top 4 position, and the Swans, well, they may finish in the top 2 if they can continue to win through the next month or so of football.
Well, it is a magnificent day. In fact, the weather, you would say, is perfect here in Sydney, and the Sydney Swans are the most accurate team in the comp. If they get some supply to these 3 boys up front, O'Loughlin, Hall and Davis, accurate kicks they are, they're not going to miss many. And we discussed the Sydney Swans strike power up forward. Polak's named on the bench. He will form the nucleus along with McFarlane for that tall back line. Also, they have to hold these Swans.
Umpires in the yellow, and away we go. Longmuir knocked it down. Kirk gets a hand pass away. Matthews, Carr, and rather Webster takes him down.
Hansky.
Did indeed.
Free kick at centre half forward. Holding block at the true centre half forward area. So it's going to go to the Dockers. And depending on who gets the kick here, it looks like Crode's going back for it. He is a big kick, and I'd just about back him in from here if he gives it a ride.
His second kick in the opening minutes then, his first to behind. Directly in front.
He'll have the gun sights on it.
Right behind him. Bad effort, just falling away. I think it's okay. It is. They celebrate. Trent Crode.
But I agree with you, Dennis. It's been a bit stop-start, the Swans flow, and the Dockers will be pretty happy with the way they've started.
Nick Davis down towards right half forward. Again short. O'Loughlin has been playing very well amongst the goals. Another chip. And this time Ball takes the mark. So for all its hesitation, it was well worked. Kick this one. Made a pretty good first of it. He lights it off the boot. Sydney get there first. Admiral short to Parker. In turn to Cook. Finds himself in space. He's running away from half back. Up towards the wing. Kicks beyond the wing towards half forward. In from the side, Crode. Almost a spectacular mark. It's paid.
Yeah. Because of the angle, he might look to give off here, but he's got this distance covered again. If he sits and watches this, has confidence in his ability. Kicked 6 last week with Claremont.
Geez, it's been a good start for a bloke who couldn't find the footy for about 3 months of this season.
Farmer's getting a free kick. He went down off the ball.
Here's a certain
and 50
goal coming.
No doubt about that. His second. Quick bounce. Headland knocked it down. Matthews against the flow did well. Knocked it back to Saddington. Sends play towards the outer side wing. Williams arrives quickly. Classy player across the body towards the pocket. O'Loughlin, speaking of class. O'Loughlin. Crowd like it. Tight. It's good. 2 from out there for Sydney. Still inside the defensive 50. Looks up towards the wing. Hits it hard. O'Loughlin was pushed to the back surely. We'll get a free kick. Crowd love it.
Well, there's no real need for that from Luke McFarlane. He had him covered. Just a spoil would have done. And he's given away a possession midfield.
And 50, is it?
And that's a costly 50 because he'll come well and truly within shooting distance. But Dermot, we're yet to hear from Anthony Myth, and we will shortly. But the injury to Jason Ball could have far-reaching ramifications for the Swans.
It's upset their balance, hasn't it?
Lachlan again honours the lead. They do that so well. Stevens this time. Stevens, his second shot at goal, and this one far better than the first. Splits the middle. Start of the second term then, Sunday football. Sydney on top by 4 points. Troy Simmons.
Swans lose man in defence.
Goods from the left. Touched Simmons on the back, actually. Kirk out of the middle, kicks down towards half forward. Stevens, a clever mark, strong mark. About 55 metres out, goes long down towards full forward. Schneider is going back, almost the mark off the ground. Lachlan, his second. 10 points then. The ruck work, hardly classical. Troy Longmuir to Hazelby towards half forward. Williams on the burst. Maxfield on his left side, down towards half forward. Lachlan again.
He's reading it too early for Luke McFarlane.
To space, Schneider takes the mark. 35 metres out, sharp angle. Schneider.
That's a good kick.
Yes, exactly. Wonderful effort from New South Wales ACT.
Great shot there of the way basically the whole game is structured up the middle.
Goods a half chance, forcing a passage. Davis did well across to Craig Bolton. Again, Sydney inside the 50. Well played by Hadrill. O'Loughlin slips it away to Stevens, pulls it back to the kickoff line. Bolton. Good Bolton. Kicks hard, kicks Troy. His 50th career goal. To Parker.
Got to be patient here.
Pavlich.
Shepherd.
Around behind. The Shepherd came from Crow. Penetrating kick. Carr was interfered with. He'll get the free kick. Carr comes in. And puts it through. Headland in space. Kicks towards the 50. Good kick too. Between two Swans. Troy Longmuir takes the mark. And speaking of local competition form, he's been burning for West Perth in the WAFL.
Hands were clean then, Dennis.
Yeah. Takes on the man on the mark. Runs inside the 50. Lines up and kicks the goal. Got it. Pretty much on. Looks towards the middle. Simmons will get there in time. Simmons attracts a crowd. Shaw will knock it away. Farmer, here's trouble. Farmer pulls it back. Hasn't got the carry. Or has it? It bounces back towards Crow.
The umpire from the middle of the ground has come charging in and paid the free kick. It'll go to Trent Crow.
Don't know if he ran straight with the flight of the ball, but Trent Crow was watching it with his eyes on it, and Leo Barry has only looked after contact.
Yeah, fair enough, I reckon. Caught him a bit high, albeit not too hard. And umpire Kennedy pulled numerical rank. He's number one. Put his stamp on that decision. He's rushed down and paid the free kick to Trent Crow, who comes in and kicks his third. Bring on Peel Thunder. Adrill. To Bell. Haven't seen a lot of Bell. Bounces off his chest back to O'Loughlin. He lays it off to Kirk. Kirk floats one through. I think it's good. The old 7-point play. In from the side, Polak plays on immediately. Walker sets it up. Pavlich loves a long goal, runs inside the 50. Can he kickstart his afternoon? Yes, he can. Margin 4 points. Let's go down to Anthony Mithen. Anthony.
Creswell back into the thick of it after having some rhinoplasty surgery done.
Here
he comes.
Get in.
Creswell inside the 50, lines up and gets the quick reply.
Kwesi Uguti.
His 200th career goal.
It's an interesting one that must be going through their mind. Goods has had just 5 possessions, so perhaps Chris Conley's saying, well, Goods has only had 5 and he can be a dominant figure. We're happy to break even.
Paul knocks it wide. Well played by Carr to Polak. Clock running down to half-time. Chance now for Crouch. Lines up. Long kick. Kirk goes back. Takes the mark. 2 metres out.
He's really hurting Bell now.
This will be his second goal of the term. The previous one, snapshot. This one, point-blank range. And these late goals, body blows for the Dockers. Well done, Sydney. Jude Bolton did well. So too Webster. Stolen. Releases Cook. Through midfield, Cook. A couple of bounces into Mines. Goes for distance. Longmuir in best position. His brother's booted a goal. He's kicked the point so far. Goal umpire goes a fair way, but it's okay. Nice start for the Dockers. Somehow jammed it on the boot. Farmer, almost a clever mark, falls to McManus. He gets free, McManus. Breaks away from half-back, kicks towards half-forward. Simmons stretches, takes the mark. Flirts with a hand pass wide. Goes back to the middle. McManus spots Pavlich, and there he is. Running hard. Pavlich. But at 26 goals this season. This one very important. He's got his second of the afternoon.
Yeah, if you're good enough in the air, you can play him from in front, can't you? Oh, well, I mean, that's your best option. Because his pace is as good as I've seen it for 2 years. So he's had a lot of injury problems, but he's obviously had a big enough run at it now over this season. Couple of interruptions, but his fitness is up and his pace is as good as it's been for a couple of years now.
8 marks today. He's got one from this area before. In the first term. Steps inside the 50, sets it up. They compete right on the line. Loose ball. Woods. Well done by Webster. Got the body in between Bill and a man coming hard. Woods kicks down towards full forward. Lurking behind his farmer, not required. Medhurst. Should kick it. Does kick it. We're back to 5 points. Over the top, Shammer now. Running from half-back, Byron Shammer. Looks down towards half-forward. Hangs in the air, his first possession. Loose ball at the back. First to arrive, Craig Bolton. Did well to Williams. Shrugs a would-be tackler. Kicks it out wide. Missed out there by Fosdyke. Closing quickly, Walker. In comes Shammer. Umpire lets them play. The game in the balance now, and the players are sensing it. Carr's got it. Medhurst deep in the pocket. Nobody near him. Comes to him now. Medhurst likes it. He's got it. Goes to Woods inside the centre square. His kicking hasn't been a feature today. Maybe it was attacked by stealth there. They knew that. In goes Longmuir, robbed of it though. Crouch comes away with dash. Look at him go. Crouch up to midfield. He turns the defence around. Going back is Nicks. Juggles the mark. Gets to his feet. 15 metres on. Kicks the goal. How's that for a turnaround?
By quarter disposals. Sydney dominant in the first quarter, even in the second, and the Dockers dominant in this third. Scoreboard will tell you the same story.
Shammer down towards half forward. Medhurst, clever, almost took the mark. Saddington goes back.
Right.
Creswell, it's a throw.
Well, that's what it looked like from afar, but I reckon the replay will probably show that he had his fist closed.
You called it early though, Jared.
From here it looked like a throw.
Oh, open hand when he touched it.
Was a throw.
No wonder you're on the big bucks.
Medhurst. Oh, Troy Longmuir contending with his son, and the man coming back on him, Maxfield, beat both.
Tough side for a left footer now.
That's no easy mark given the son. That ball coming in like the zero bombers. On his son, he runs around with the outside of the boot, gets his second. A change of lead this term. Craig Bolton kicks it out wide. One for the runners. Fosdyke goes after it with Walker. Walker takes him down immediately. He gathered the ball. Creswell got the arms free. Is that holding it? Not according to the umpire. Play goes on. Pavlich to Bell. Bell goes down towards half forward. There's some wrestling going on behind the play. Meantime, Cook's got it on the 50. Goes long. I think it's okay. It's a goal. Fremantle increase their lead. Pavlich on the burst. Farmer dropped the mark. Applies a tackle. Crouch going to ground. Got it away though to Davis. Shocking kick. Just goes across the 50. Takes a Docker bounce. Comes to Medhurst, who must have whistled. He pulls it back across the body. Oh, Longmuir! Is it a mark? I think it might be. Justin Longmuir has taken a beauty in the square.
and he fell on his head, and it no doubt hurt. It's a great mark. It was a good centering kick from Paul Medhurst. Missed the goals, which is what I think he was aiming at, but he's got some talent, this bloke, Dermot.
Absolutely. He's long too, isn't he? He's about 196 centimetres.
I think if I could change one rule, and I think we changed too many, it's if you mark it in the square, it should be a straight line in front.
You've got to have the advantage. I mean, it's that close to goal.
This is a nonsense. I think it is. Demeans the game.
He can actually walk up, put the ball on the line, and kick it over, but doesn't elect to do so.
He's got the goal. The Dockers get the flying start, his second. Boundary throw in. Hall and Hadrill. Hall hooks it down behind. Woods left it behind. O'Loughlin got a hand pass away. Bolton taken high. Pull his team back. I think he's missed, or has he? It's bending back. It's a goal. Fine kick, his third. Medhurst wants it in the pocket. Meantime, McManus forced to play on. Just got it to Cook, closing with Schneider.
Woods is hanging off to the side of him. Don't give it to him.
You can't say that.
With all due respect. Great on a lead.
Well, that makes it tough. Too tall for him. Clever. Kirk got it to Goods. Schneider. That was a mistake. Schneider about 70 metres out. Hall going back with the flat of it. Grabs it. Kicks the goal. Too cute. Awkward one for Cook to Hayden to Parker. Parker slung as he kicked. It wanders up towards the wing. Over the head of Pollard.
He's lifted.
Goods from the wing. Kicks inside the 50. Hayden will need to go back. 3 Dockers up. Falls to Parker. Gets it away. Hayden kept his head. High ball to the wing. Goods will fly from behind. Couldn't hang on. Hitting the pack hard was Hedlund. Goes after it. Kirk had it. Couldn't control it. Jude Bolton gets it out like a fly half. Oh, brilliant Maxfield. Got it to Williams. Schneider, a natural left footer. Lines up. Gets the goal. Sydney in front.
Called a hole.
Go look at me. Go look at me, Jerry.
You called it.
I got no idea. I mean, I had an idea at the time. Oh, leaping Leo, almost a spectacular mark. Hand passes over the shoulder. O'Loughlin in 2 minds. Goes short and finds Hall. Larry doesn't get that high. There goes the kick from Hall. Straight as a dive. This lead for the Dockers simply swamped. Jude Bolton gets it out of the middle again. Davis kicks inside the 50. Stevens lunges. Takes the mark low down. Just incredible. As though somebody threw a switch. Face to face with their dreams of September, and Sydney have found something. Stevens, 55 metres out, sets it on its way. It's good. Inspiring stuff. Now Kirk forward of the wing, a little chip down towards Hall. Ricochets off his boot. Pavlich slips a hand pass away to Hazelby. Hazelby decides to run. Kicks inside the 50. Medhurst needs to mark it, and he does. Wheels around Bacon Square. Goes long. It's a question of accuracy. It's a goal. Back come the Dockers. 105. Plays 94.
To win the game, you think the Dockers have to get at least 3 centre-bounce clearances. They've only had 6 for the day.
Still heaps of time. Goods missed it. Pavlich improvising. Kicks it down towards half forward. Matthews in the road though. Swings it out wide. Davis will need to go, and he does. Scuttles after it. Takes the mark.
So he just pulled a bit lame then?
Looked that way, didn't it?
Don't give up, Billy!
Don't give up, Belly. You don't have to tell him that.
No. Just over 6 minutes remaining in this contest. Long ball, hugs the boundary line. Hall almost fell in front. O'Loughlin a half chance. Hedlund picks it up. Slips it away to Woods. Woods kicks it up towards the wing. Bell, a clever mark. Body on body with Kirk and beat him.
It's an amazing game, isn't it? In the space of what, we've got 5.5 minutes left. All you need is some great efforts from about 3 blokes for the Dockers, and they can pinch this.
Midhurst can go to Hazelby. Will it get there in time? Yes, it will.
He has lifted. He's had an ordinary day. For the last 5 minutes, he's had about 4 important possessions. And if he can put this one through, they are just a kick behind. Isn't it, mate? Just a game of momentum. It's almost as if the baton has been handed over to the Dockers, and the Swans have said, all right, see how you go for 5 minutes.
That sort of game all day, hasn't it?
It is a beautiful set shot normally. Hope that doesn't moz him for you, Dennis.
He leans back. He's missed. Well, it was a tough shot. Right on the nose. Don't make your brown eyes blue.
Inside 50s, 13-7 in favour of the Swans in this final quarter.
Schneider to Hall, tracking it, soccering it, giving a goal! 3 goals to Barry Hall, all in the final term.
And it's just been those experienced players that have dragged the Swans across the line. Barry Hall's had a big last quarter. Creswell, you spoke of highly. He's one of the best tap forwards that the game has seen for a while, and Barry Hall is just on the end of it, favoured by a nice little leggy at the end. But another one who's done well, I reckon, is Schneider.
Great discipline too. In his dying minutes, Sydney hugging the boundary, and that ball off hands and across. Clock stops at 17. And Paul Ruiz, what a wonderful record he's got since taking over. It's going to be a free kick. And it's going to Sydney to be taken by Adam Goods. Just looking at Ruiz's record, he's won 17 out of 26 coming in today, so 18 out of 27. His first game and his first win against Fremantle in round 13 last season.
Won 11 out of their last 13 games now, the Swans.
Goods again within 10 metres of the boundary. McFarlane has got better the longer it's gone. Wait for the siren. Great victory for Sydney. Confronted, headed, met the challenge like a very good team.
They are a good team, Dennis, aren't they? 11 out of the last 13 games they've won, and something to take away for Fremantle as well. Big road trip for them. Got to a 14-point lead early in the last quarter. Couldn't hang in there, but they'll take away something from this, learn about the opposition, the team that's sitting second on the ladder,